I'm just going to check and see who's on. Whoops, wrong button. Everybody's getting in. Okay. So do I see Shar? Oh, there she is. Good. Yeah, good. Okay, perfect. Good. All right, so I'm going to start the meeting. Welcome everybody to the Board of Education regular meeting for February the 24th. And I'm going to start by saying that we're acknowledging that we are doing our business in multiple territories today: the Gitxsan, the Haisla, Tsimshian, Nisga'a peoples, and the Wet'suwet'en, whom we respect and honor that we're working on their territories. I have a couple of opening comments to make, and then we can move on to the agenda. And that I would like to welcome, first of all, everybody to being on our first Zoom call, where there is the opportunity to have a little bit more interaction with us. Plus, we are live streamed on our Coast Mountain 82 YouTube channel, so others can participate. I have been hearing of a few guests that are joining our meeting, which is just great. We do want your participation. I am going to ask first for trustees to introduce themselves, and then we'll introduce our administrative team that is joining us. So I'm Margaret Workup. I'm the trustee for Terrace, and I'm currently the board chair. And if I go across my screen, Angela, you're the first one to introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Angela Parandanuser, and I'm trustee from Stewart.
Where it's snowing, I hear. And Raymond Raj, you're next. Yep.
Hello, everybody. I'm Raymond Raj, trustee from Kitimat and the vice chair. And yes, it's snowing here too.
Yeah, yeah. And next on my screen is Karen Yonkman.
Hi, everyone. Karen Yonkman. I'm the trustee from Kitimat.
And on my far right is Shar McCrory. Shar.
Hello, everyone. Shar McCrory, trustee for Hazelton.
Thank you. That's our board of trustees, and we do have one position open, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But let's introduce our district team. We have our superintendent of schools, Janet Meyer, with us. We have our secretary treasurer, Ginger Fuller. Director of Human Resources, Beth. Did I see her on?
She is with us.
Yes. Oh yeah, there she is. Welcome, Karen. Yeah. Our Director of Instruction, Indigenous Education, Agnes Casgrain. Our Director of Instruction, Graduation and Innovation, Geraldine Lawler. Welcome. Director of Instruction, Learner Support, Julia Nikes. Welcome, Julia. And I gather you're both helping us with keeping our screens up a nice way. And our executive assistant, whom we can't live without, Carol Gagnon, who's organized us all and is texting me at the same time, telling me that I have to stay on track here. So welcome all to the meeting and welcome to our guests. I understand we have 3 or 4 guests already, and hopefully others will join us that way. A couple of announcements that I'd like to share before we go into the agenda. The first advanced voting day for our new trustee election in Terrace, which is called Electoral Area 2, will be from 8 o'clock in the morning to 8 p.m. at the Terrace Sportsplex Multipurpose Room. And the voting days are March 3rd, with general voting scheduled on March 6th from 8 to 8. And then there is also the ability to mail ballot and vote that way for all qualified electors. And just visit our school district website for our school district website. Will also have posted the all candidates meeting that was held last night, and we have 7 candidates running, and there were some great questions and great thought dialogue that you can use to consider for voting. We will be having, and we're quite excited as the board is leading with the support of the administrative team, our strategic planning session. The second of 5 sessions is planned for this Friday, the 26th, from 1 to 2 via Zoom. And these sessions will provide an opportunity for everyone to participate and have their voice heard. This input will play a very important role for us in planning for the next 5 years to where our district will be going and how we can meet the needs of all the children that we're serving and their families. We want input, participate, use the couple of tools that we're using. You can use the Zoom sessions, and you can also email in, and you can also use the websites to communicate and give us input. Janet will mention a little bit about that later in her report. She's got lots of good information there with it as well. And we really do want the student voice. So encourage students and parents to give us input, please. Today, as you can see on the screen, is Pink Shirt Day, and we encourage everyone to be practicing kindness and wear pink to symbolize that we do not tolerate bullying in our communities. The message this year for Pink Shirt Day is lift each other up. And it's a very appropriate message for this year with the stresses and the concerns that we're all dealing with because of COVID and life just changing for us. And let's, with wearing our pink shirts, know that we do care for each other and that we do want healthy support and healthy self-esteem, empathy, compassion, and kindness amongst ourselves, all of us. At our schools, I know we're doing all kinds of things today for Pink Shirt Day, and together we can make a difference to stop the bullying and have everybody cared for. We are, in terms of COVID, continuing to have our schools as safe as possible. And we want to remind everybody that if you have questions, certainly you can directly contact your schools, but you could also use our covid@coastmountainschooldistrict.bc.ca email and send your questions in, ask them, and we will be as responsive as we can. And lastly, before we get down to the agenda, March is spring break. There will be no board meeting or committee meetings in March. The next meeting for the board will be Wednesday, April 21st at 5 p.m. via Zoom. We're creeping up towards the end of the year, and we want to wish everybody a healthy, safe, fellowship type of spring break, and so that we can cope over the next few months as we into a new phase with COVID and hopefully all's happening. We want to thank everyone, teachers, educators, support staff, administrative staff, facility staff, for your dedication and the extra efforts during this challenging time of COVID. There's been so much dedication and caring. It's great to see. I would like to, with those, move on to saying that we would like to call the meeting to order and have the first motion, which is the consideration that all of us are participating for a quorum by electronic means. So I'm just going to get rid of that. So I need somebody to so move that. Karen and Raymond, thank you. And no objections, it will have passed. We have the agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the agenda? Thank you for putting it up on the screen there. Thanks. Okay, can I have now that it's up on the screen, I can't see people waving their hand as to who's doing that.
I'll move. It's Sandy. I'll move.
Thank you. Sandy and Shar, hearing no objections, the agenda is approved. What we're doing is having question period now, and then during the meeting, if there's questions, you can certainly use the chat and we'll try and answer things towards the end. I don't have any questions that have come in for the beginning, correct? Janet will tell me if I'm wrong there. Okay,
Margaret, if I may, no, there are no questions, but if I could refer you back to the agenda around the presentation of the video.
yes, yep. Oh, you know what? It's not on my little script notes. Thank you. Okay, before we move on to the minutes and being approval, Janet is going to share the strategic planning video for you. Thank you, Janet. Oh. Okay. Missed it on my notes, sorry.
One moment, please.
Yeah. As she finds that, I'll just, yeah, I'm smiling because of course I'm on the video and so is Janet, and I don't like looking at myself.
What will education look like in Coast Mountain schools in the next 5 years? What if you had a say in shaping that future? Being able to identify what's important, what we should value, what we need to anticipate and prepare for? Amasaw. My name is Janet Meyer, and I'm the Superintendent of Schools for Coast Mountain School District. It's time for us to ask you, the people invested in Coast Mountain School District, to share your thoughts, ideas, priorities, hopes, and dreams for the next 5 years. It's a blank slate, if you will, to share ideas and perspectives. Your feedback, including key themes, will be shared and analyzed by the Board of Education.
Hi, I'm Margaret Workup. I'm a trustee from the Coast Mountain School District, and currently I'm sitting as board chair. We're asking you today to participate with us in a new challenge that we have in developing a new or a revised strategic plan. Strategic planning being a very important process where we look at how the future is going to be in our district, how we can serve our students, how we can continue to have excellence in the provision of education.
Quite simply, the question we're asking is, what do you value most about Coast Mountain Schools? And what can we do better to prepare our students for the challenges and opportunities of the future? As Superintendent of Schools, I have 4,400 reasons why strategic planning is important. Every one of our 4,400 students deserves the best possible experience in school. We have designed a process that will allow you the opportunity to have as much input as you wish. We very much want to hear your voice and have your voice included in the discussion with the Board of Education on the direction of our school district.
So what we're asking today is for you to think, reflect, give us input from everyone. What can we do in education so every student has success in their pathways through education? What can we do to be efficient, be effective, be accountable for what we do in education? How can we be inspiring for the future?
This is your opportunity to shape the future of Coast Mountain Schools in the next 5 years. It is my sincere hope that you will join us and share your thoughts about the future of Coast Mountain Schools, because together we are better.
Excellent. Thank you, Janet. Good. So Carol just reminded me, and so I'll just interrupt the agenda just a little bit, just to say that we do have guests at the meeting. They are on with us, and we welcome them to participate in the chat area. We have Carol, we have Mark Zielinski from Kitimat. We have Carol is from Terrace. We have Kim, and we have Mike. And I think that's it so far on my list, but I welcome everybody, and I hope others will start to participate with us as well. Okay, on the agenda, the next step is the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting. So I need a motion to approve the minutes, please.
I'll make that motion. It's Shar.
Char,
A second.
seconder.
Second, it's Sandy.
Sandy. Any objections? Thank you. They were
There
passed.
aren't any, yeah.
The next is the receipt of the records of the in-camera meeting. A motion for that, please.
I'll move it, Sandy.
Sandy. Second.
I'll second it. It's Angela.
Angela, thank you. Okay, do I hear any objections? Hearing none. The minutes of the in-camera meeting are passed. Any business arising from the minutes? Any questions? Okay. Hearing none, we can move on to the correspondence. And as I do that, I also received just a quick message to say welcome to Jocelyn to the meeting. Thank you for joining us. Okay, we have under 9.1, I'm going to refer this to Raymond Raj to report out on the ministry approval of the 2019-2020 Indigenous Education Fund carry forward.
Okay.
Raymond?
Yeah, this is on pages 13 to 17 on your agenda. Reference the attached correspondence received February 19, 2021 from the Deputy Minister of Education, granting approval pursuant to Section 106(4)(2) of the School Act for Coast Mountain Board of Education to underspend its 2019-2020 school year Indigenous Education targeted funds in an amount of $268,504. This variation of direction was granted on the condition that these funds will be brought forward and added to the 2020-2021 school year Indigenous Education targeted amount to be expended on Indigenous Education program as detailed in the Deputy Minister's letter, which is attached. The board's letter to the Minister of Education dated October 6, 2020, requesting approval to the underspend is targeted Indigenous education funding for the 2019-2020 school year is attached for information. With the receipt of the Deputy Minister's letter on February 19, 2021, and there are no scheduled committee or board meetings in March 2021, the documentation is being forwarded directly to the board for information. I move that the board receive the Deputy Minister of Education's correspondence granting approval pursuant to Section 106.4(2) of the School Act for Coast Mountain School District, Coast Mountain Board of Education to underspend its 2019-2020 school year Indigenous Education targeted funds in an amount up to $268,504.
A seconder for the motion?
Second
Thank
that,
you.
Shar.
Shar. Any questions? Hearing none. If there's no objections, the motion is passed. Thank you. We move on to the Superintendent of Schools monthly report, which is in your package. Janet, do you wish to speak to your report?
Absolutely. Thank you, Margaret. I believe my report speaks for itself this month in terms of we were engaged in doing a deep dive into professional development and trying to establish moving forward our actions that we could take related to professional development, given the results of the 2020 workplace scan that we did, which outlined district-wide that people felt approximately 64% were satisfied with the opportunities for professional development. So we're working on that. We also acknowledge in the introduction the well wishes that we have for employees of the school district who are extremely tired and stressed, and there are challenges out there that are extreme, and a wish to those people for our staff to have a well-deserved spring break. While it's not covered in the superintendent's report this year, I'd also like to acknowledge that this coming week, March the 8th, will recognize International Women's Day. And the theme for the 2021 International Women's Day is Women in Leadership, Achieving an Equal Future in a COVID-19 World. And I would just like to extend my thanks and my gratitude to humans who identify as women and those people who have had a positive impact on my life, and those women either in formal or informal leadership roles in our school district. I would like to thank those people for what they do. Thank you, Chair Workup.
Thank you, Janet. Any questions for Janet's report? Did I hear somebody try to speak?
It's Char.
I had one question, Janet, as I read the report, and again, it's excellent and very informative. With your thought exchange, I got to keep remembering that term. Is it just employees that can participate in giving ideas about education and continuing education? Because I'm wondering if community members wouldn't want to be able to say where we could partner with some education.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. We have sent our invitation for thought exchange, our invitation for the engagement sessions far and wide. We have newspaper ads that have gone out. We've reached out to the 10 Indigenous communities in our school district. And worthy of note as well is that the hashtag that we refer to, the NA Nothing About Us Without Us, really started out as a theme for our strategic planning engagement sessions, sending the message that the voice of students is so very important in the work that we are engaged in with strategic planning. We have very insightful young people in our school district, and we are making a concerted effort to reach out to those students to get their input. So every one of our schools between now and April the 16th will be conducting a student forum in their school and using the thought exchange to solicit responses around what is their preferred future, what are their dreams and wishes for the future. So it's not just employees, it's not just educators, it's anybody, a grandparent, an aunt, an uncle, anyone in the world virtually can respond if they'd like, because it's open.
Okay. So Janet, I really appreciate what you said, and maybe wasn't quite clear with my question. My question was about the professional development thought exchange. Is it just educators or employees? Or do you want others to give ideas? No, community partners?
At this time, we're trying to determine, because the thought exchange lumped our 64% of people who were satisfied with their professional development.
Oh, okay.
So we're trying to dig a little bit deeper to get more information. And there is information to be had, because there are people out there who do not understand the difference between professional development and district in-service. And the way that the workplace scan was worded, it didn't differentiate between the two. So for right now, it's just our employees.
Okay, I just wanted clarity on that, because I was thinking of some of our community partners who are also talking about continuing education, some of our other service providers and people. So if it's clear that it's just our employees this time, that's great. Thank you. Okay, any further questions for the superintendent?
Madam Chair?
Hearing none, we can. Yes.
I move that the Superintendent of Schools monthly report on pages 18 to 23 of the agenda to the regular board meeting of February 24, 2021 be received as presented.
Thank you. Seconder? Somebody, please.
Angela seconded.
Yeah, I'll second
Angela?
it. Sorry, I was muted. Sorry, Margaret.
That's okay. Okay. Hearing no further questions and no objections, the report has been received. Thank you. Standing committee reports, the Business Committee report, Trustee Raymond Raj.
The first one is item number 11.1.1. It is on pages 24 to 26. It is the Business Committee meeting minutes from February 10, 2021. I move that the minutes of the Business Committee meeting held on February 10, 2021 be received for information.
I'll second that, Shar.
Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, if there's no objections, the motion has passed.
The next item is 11.1.2, 2020-2021 amended annual budget bylaw. This is on pages 27 to 44. In accordance to section 113(2) of the School Act, the Minister of Education requires that amended annual budgets are prepared, adopted by bylaw, and submitted on or before the last day in February each fiscal year. The school districts operate on fiscal year of July 1 to June 30th. The attached 2020-2021 annual budget version 9661-8914-6931 for Coast Mountain School District 82 was prepared in accordance with public sector accounting standards. On June 17, 2020, the board approved by bylaw adoption the preliminary 2020-2021 annual budget. The budget was based on preliminary estimates of enrollment, revenue, and expenditure factors. On December 18, 2020, the Ministry of Education announced the 2020-2021 recalculated funding allocations provincially. Being that there were no significant adjustment required for the amended annual budget, it was not necessary to reconvene the 2020-2021 Budget Working Committee. The Business Committee concurred with the after-mentioned recommendation at its February 10, 2021 meeting and brings forward to the board for adoption bylaw. A bylaw of the Board of Education of School District number 82, Coast Mountains, called the board to adopt the amended annual budget of the Board of Fiscal Year 2020-2021 pursuant to Section 113 of the School Act, RSBC 1996C 412 as amended from time to time, called the Act. Number one, Board has complied with the provisions of the Act respecting the amended annual budget adopted by this bylaw. Number two, this bylaw may be cited as School District number 82, Coast Mountains, amended annual budget bylaw for fiscal year 2020-2021. Three, the attached statement 2 showing the estimated revenue and expense for the 2020-2021 fiscal year and the total budget bylaw amount of $67,715 for the 2020-2021 fiscal year was prepared in accordance with the Act. Number four, Statement 2 and 4 and Schedules 1 to 4 are adopted as the amended annual budget of the board for the fiscal year 2020-2021. I move that the 2020-2021 amended annual budget bylaw be read a first time the 24th day of February 2021.
A seconder, please.
I'll second, Shar.
Char, thank you. Any questions? Any objections? Hearing none, passed.
I move that the 2021 amended annual budget bylaw be read a second time the 24th day of February 2021.
Seconder,
I'll second that. It's Angela.
Angela. Any questions? Any objections? Passed. Now we need to have unanimous consent.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Raymond. Sorry.
Now we need a unanimous consent to proceed to third reading.
Do we have that consent? Can everybody wave that I can see? Good. I just don't see Shar and Angela. Perfect. Everybody's there. I had to move my screen. Okay, unanimous consent was passed.
Okay, now I move that the 2020-2021 amended annual budget bylaw be read a third time, passed, and adopted the 24th day of February 2021.
Seconder,
It's Karen, I'll second.
Karen, thank you. Any questions? Objections? Passed. Thank you, Raymond. Next item.
Next item is 11.1.3, and this is in your agenda on pages 45 to 49. Quarterly financial statements, December 31st, 2020. Attached with the board's consideration is the quarterly financial statement as of December 31st, 2020 for Coast Mountain School District 82. The Business Committee reviewed the quarterly financial statement at its meeting held on February 10, 2021 and brings forward to the board for information. I move that the board receive the information to quarterly financial statement as at December 31st, 2020.
Seconder, please.
It's Shar, I'll second.
Shar, thank you. Question? Objections? Don't see anybody waving. Motion is passed. Thank you.
The next one is meeting agenda item 11.1.4, Ministry Data Collection Projected Enrollment 2021-22, 2022-23, and 2023-24 school years. And this is on pages 50 and 51 of your agenda. Reference the attached data collection of projected enrollments for the 2021-22, 2022-23, and 2023-24 school year for Coast Mountain School District as submitted to the Ministry of Education on February 12, 2021. Projection received from school districts will be used by the ministry to facilitate the development of operating grant estimates. Operating grant estimates 2021-22 will be announced on or before March 31st, 2021. The Business Committee reviewed the data collection of projected enrollment and, at its February 10, 2021 meeting and brings forward to the board for information. I move that the board receive for information the ministry data collection projected enrollment for the 2021-22, 2022-23, and 2023-24 school years.
Seconder, please.
It's Karen, I'll second.
Karen, thank you. Any questions? Hearing no objections, the motion is passed.
The next
Passed. Thank you.
agenda is 11.1.5. COVID-19 Cost Summary, December 31st, 2020. This is on pages 52 and 53 of your agenda. On August 26, 2020, the BC provincial government and federal government announced funding to support and ensure the health and safety of students and staff during the COVID-19 pandemic through the Safe Run to School grant and federal Safe Return to Class Fund. Attached for trustees' information is the COVID-19 cost tracking summary for December 31st, 2020, reflecting the disbursement of the one-time Safe Return to School grant, $389,629, and the Federal Safe Return of Class Fund of $748,840 for Coast Mountain School District. The Business Committee reviewed the COVID-19 cost tracking summary at its February 10, 2021 meeting and brings forward to the board for information. I move that the board receive for information the COVID-19 cost summary ending December 31st, 2020 for Coast Mountain School District 82 as presented.
I'll second that. It's Angela.
Thank you, Angela. Question? Any objections? Passed.
The next meeting agenda item is 11.1.6, which is new policy 1115 childcare, and this is first reading, and it is on pages 54 to 57 of your agenda. This is the policy which is on the agenda. It is going to all the partner groups. The partner groups will have 30 school in session days to look and to give their input. When the input comes back, then it goes to the business committee again, and then with all the input in it, it will be brought to the board for final adoption. For now, I move that the new policy 1115 childcare be presented for first reading at the January 27, 2021 regular board meeting.
Seconder?
It's Shar. I'll
Nobody
second.
yet? Shar?
Shar.
Thank you. Thank you, Shar. Any questions? Ginger, I do see your hand. Thank you.
So we just need to amend the date. The first reading would not be, it should be today's date.
Oh. You're correct. Yeah. Do the mover and seconder accept that correction?
What is that?
Yes, I accept.
The date on the motion in our packages is wrong.
Oh, yes. I'm sorry. It should be February 24th.
Okay, so your seconder accepted it as a friendly amendment.
Yeah. Thank you, Ginger. Good eyes.
Yes.
Last-
Okay. Any further comment, questions? Yeah. Raymond?
No.
All in favor, or any objections? Passed. Yeah.
And the last item
Thank
for
you.
business committee
You have,
the last item for business committee is item number 11.1.7, Trustee Renumeration Annual Review, CMSD 82 Policy 5095. In accordance to the attached Policy 5095, Trustee Renumeration and Annual Review of Trustee Renumeration shall be conducted annually in February and be tied to the BC Consumer Price Index. Increases may be deferred by board resolution. The 2020 annual BC Consumer Price Index information is attached for reference. The Business Committee reviewed the annual review of trustee remuneration at its February 10, 2021 meeting and forwards to the board for information, noting an opportunity for a trustee pre-discussion will be available and at the trustee superintendent meeting held prior to the February 24, 2021 regular board meeting. And now it is presented here for all trustees to have a discussion and decide on this.
Okay, so Janet, can you help me with who wishes to speak and that I can't see everybody? Okay, I see Sandhurst. Go ahead, Sandy.
So I'd like to make a motion that, yep, can you hear me? Okay, so
Yes,
I'd like to make,
yeah.
thank you. So I'd like to make a motion that the trustee remuneration be donated back to the schools, the same as what we did last year. I believe that the amount is 0.8%, according to the, is that right, Ginger?
Yes, that's correct, Sandy, for the year.
Thank you. So I would like, make a motion that the trustee remuneration of 0.8% be donated back.
It's
Okay,
Shar.
a seconder for Sandy's motion? Shar, did
Shar.
you
I'll
second?
second it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we have a seconder. Any discussion on the motion?
I see nothing, Margaret.
Okay, all in favor, can we just wave our hands and I can see half the screen? Good. If you're in favor, please put your hand up so we'll know. Good. Okay, I have everybody. The motion has passed. Thank you. Thank you, Trustee
all I have, Madam
Renumeration. You've
Chair.
had a lot to present today. Okay, got one more. Sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all I have,
Okay.
Madam Chair. Thank you.
The education. I thought so. Okay, I was checking them off here. Education Committee report. Trustee Angela Brandon-Newser.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So the first item on the agenda for the Education Committee is the minutes from the meeting that was held on February 10th, 2021. I'd like to make a motion that those minutes be adopted as presented.
Seconder, please.
Aaron, I'll second.
Aaron, thank you. Any questions? Hearing and any objections? Passed.
Thank you. Obviously, I'd like to encourage everybody to read them because they're very comprehensive minutes of what happened at the meeting. And it was a lot of good information as always. The second item is the item 11.2.2, the draft 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2023 to 2024 school calendar. So if I can get my computer to work. Oops. So an all-partner consultative school calendar committee formed by the board was provided with a mandate to guide the development of school calendar for the year 2021-2022 school year. Attached for the board's consideration and approval are 3 draft school calendars for the 2021 to 22, 22 to 23, 23 to 24 school years. The development of 3 calendars was determined based on recommendations from the 2020 to 2021 School Calendar Committee. The School Act allows the board to, we must make our proposed calendars public by February 28th and then submit them to the ministry by March 31st for final approval. So these 3 draft school calendars were presented at the Education Committee meeting that was held on February 10th, and they were discussed, and it was agreed to put them forward to the board for approval. So I would like to make a motion that the board approve the 2021 to 22, 2022 to 23, and 2023 to 24 school calendars as presented for submission to the Ministry of Education by March 31st, 2021 for final approval.
Seconder, Can somebody wave and let me know they would like to second that?
I think
Trustee
Raymond's,
Oh,
Trustee
thank you.
Raj.
Trustee
Yeah.
Raymond? Yeah, got you. Thank you. Any question on the calendars?
I would just like to add,
Trustee Watson?
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Trustee Brandon. You go ahead.
I was just going to add that these calendars can be changed. They can be brought back through the committee and back through the process. If for some reason the ministry creates different dates, creates whatever, they can be brought back.
Okay.
Trustee Watson? Thank you. Can I just get some clarification for my my slow brain right now around the opposition? So there was opposition from CMTF. Can I just get a description of what it was that they were requesting for the school calendar?
Can I ask our superintendent to answer? Because I think we did address that at the committee level, did we not?
We did, and the disagreement, if you will, is documented in the minutes. And there was a discussion at the calendar committee around the number of days in session and where in June of the 3 calendars that are proposed, where we're ending and the number of days we have in session. For example, a representative of the Coast Mountain Teachers Federation had proposed that we end a day earlier than we are proposing in these calendars. And we had, on the other side of the coin, we had a representative from CUPE 2052 sharing concern that they felt from their employee group's perspective that they would like us to stay with more days in session because that's a livelihood issue for them. So we struck a balance in the middle. So there wasn't, opposition's a strong word, that the individual from the CMTF who voiced that concern was satisfied in our opinion that her voice was heard and it was documented in the minutes that was her concern.
So if it was on the 28th, so if the last day of school was on June 28th, then CUPE members would be missing out on a day of work. Thank you.
Further questions? I don't hear any. Any objections? I don't hear any. Passed. Thank you. If we move on the agenda, the next is my board chair report that I move we receive for information. And I have a couple of comments if somebody would like to second that.
Point of clarification, I don't believe you can move a motion, Madam Chair.
No, you're right. Would somebody please move it and second it? Yeah.
I will move the motion forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Shar. Yeah. Second?
I'll second it, it's Angela.
Angela, okay. So my report is there for reflection on. If you have any questions, I welcome answering them. I want to thank our staff who responded to my inquiries or the inquiries that I did receive to put forward to the staff on behalf of the board. Okay. Any objections to the report? And it's received. Passed. Trustee reports. Does anybody have just a minute? Yeah, trustee reports before BCPC. Anybody wish to give a verbal report?
Yeah, Madam Chair, this is Angela.
Okay, thank you. Angela, go ahead.
I just want to briefly discuss this Saturday. I attended the virtual provincial council meeting on all day Saturday. We will be getting the synopsis that will be coming out right from BCSTA, probably be on a subsequent agenda or at the very least emailed to the trustees. But I just wanted to bring to your attention that by March 17th, just had Carol send out an email. By March 17th, they're looking for feedback on the budget. And their budget has had some changes to it because of the lower enrollment due to COVID. So they've had to change their budget as well. So please, everybody take a look at it. I believe it was an attachment in the email, or it's on the hub maybe. So if you could just get your information or any comments or questions you have on it back to me, and we can make sure that it is in before the March 17th deadline. There was a few motions, only 3 motions that were debated on of emergent issues, because as you're all aware, most of the motions that come from school boards go directly to the BCSTA AGM that's coming up. But there was 3 emergent motions, one on funding for distributed learning that passed after some discussion, and they want an increase in funding, or requesting an increase in funding due to the extra distributed learning that a lot of school districts are having to deal with because of COVID. There was another motion about the COVID-19 vaccine priority for workers in public education should be pushed forward a little bit more. So that was carried. And there was another motion brought forward that school districts are requesting more timely information regarding COVID-19 and the safety of their schools around exposures. Some school districts are having a hard time getting information on school exposures, so it's quite concerning to them. So those were the 3 emergent motions that passed that will be brought for up to the ministry and up to whatever level is required that they continue on. So that was all at the provincial council meeting last Saturday. Thank you, Chair.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions for Trustee Renumeration? Thank you for your report. There is a BCPC delegate report that requires a motion to accept. It is item number 12.3. Could I have a motion, please, to accept that report?
I move the BCPC delegate report.
Perfect, please. Somebody? Second? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Sandy. Any questions on the BCPC delegate report from the annual meeting that was held? Hearing no questions, no objections, the motion has passed. And Trustee Renumeration, I'm thinking what you just gave us under trustee reports was the BCSTA Provincial Council report, or do you have more to say?
No, I apologize. I jumped the gun.
That's okay. I let you jump. I didn't stop you. You got started and we heard it all. Does anybody else have a trustee report? Anybody else need to say anything, want to say anything? Okay, I don't see anybody waving. I'll look to our superintendent. Do we have any questions that have come in through the chat or from anybody who wishes to speak with us with questions?
There's nothing in the chat.
Okay.
I do, however,
Trustee McCrory has a question.
Sorry, I don't have a question. I would just like to, I just saw Lynn pop up, and I'd just like to encourage everyone to get out and vote who's eligible to vote in the by-election for trustee for Terrace. So, and also extend gratitude, because I did watch the all candidate session, and gratitude to the Chamber of Commerce for putting that on for us. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you, Trustee McCrory. Lynn, were you waving your hand to speak? To ask a question?
Oh, I was just saying hello. I didn't want to jump on and put my camera on in the middle of all your busyness.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Hello. Yes, I'd like to echo Trustee McCrory's comments about the all candidate meeting. It was Thank you to the chamber and to those that facilitated it. Thank you for the candidates, the 7 that are running and showing their interest in education. It was a very interesting evening, and if you haven't seen it, watch it on our YouTube with it, because there's some good thoughts there in terms of where we're going and what we could do. Any last comments or questions? If not, I can have a motion. Oh, Trustee Youngman.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to speak just a little bit about Pink Shirt Day. Yes, today is a designated day. I just hope that people keep this sentiment in their thoughts every day, because there are a lot of people that are having difficulties. People get picked on. It can happen at school. It can happen at work. I just would like to really encourage people just to be kind, be patient. And if you're having an issue and somebody's bothering you, please tell someone. You're never alone. There is always someone that can help you to make the harassment or the bullying stop. So just everyone, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And let's put an end to this bullying.
Thank you, Karen. Last comments? Okay, I see one question just came up in the chat. Let's see what's there. Okay, how do I do the strat plan on Friday? Janet, do you want to be better at telling our city liaison, Carol, how she can participate?
Absolutely. Great question, Carol. Thank you. If you go to our website, there's a strategic planning session or strategic planning section of our website. And in that section, you will notice there will be 5 dates of our interactive engagement sessions. Just pick the Friday link and log on to YouTube just like you did tonight. We look forward to seeing you there, Mayor Leclerc.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you. One last note in the chat as well is that the discussion from the all candidates is going to be uploaded tomorrow. We can't do everything all the time. So it does take time to do things. Last comments? If not, I can have a motion for adjournment. Somebody want to so move?
Yeah.
Great. The meeting is
second.
adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Yeah. Good. Excellent. Thank you, Sandy. Yeah. Perfect. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Please drive home safely. It's snowing hard. All the communities, all the backgrounds have snow in them. So please be careful on those roads. Yeah.
Take care,
Go safely.
everybody.
Take care.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take
Be
care.
safe, and we'll see you in a whole month because we have a break.